Hey everyone, welcome back to this video. This is Raja from Charger Games, and in this video we're going to create the animation of the 2D character that we have created in the previous video. So now that the character is ready and we have designed the character, let's go ahead and import it in Unity and create some cool looking animations. So let's get started. So here I'm gonna create a new folder named Sprites. And here I will create another new folder called animation, and inside this we're gonna place all our animations. Now I'm gonna go inside the sprites folder. So now let's go ahead and bring our sprites to the sprites folder. So I'm gonna go to this place, and as you can see we have two different things here, and I'm using two different things to show you something that I want. So let me drag and move both of these things here. Now from there we're gonna use this one only, but I'm gonna use this one to show you something that I want to show. So let me select both of them first of all and go to here and click on sprite mode to multiple, because we have multiple sprites inside them and we want to slice them up. So that is why we need to select multiple. Go to this override for PC Mac Linux standalone, and we're gonna make it 512 just to make it smaller than what we have here, and click on apply. Now let's go ahead and select the first one, and if I go to sprite editor, as you can see, if I try to slice these sprites, this one will overlap this one. So we will not be able to change this, we will not be able to get it as a single sprite. Let me show you how that works. If I go to slice and click on automatic slice, as you can see it has been sliced, but within it we have this monster part. So while exporting it from Inkscape, make sure you have all these things separate so that the square around one object doesn't overlap another object. So if I select this one now, go to sprite editor, now as you can see, even if we create a square around or a rectangle around this, it will not overlap the monsters. So while exporting from Inkscape, as you can see here, make sure you have enough distance between both of these monsters or both of these body parts. So now I'm gonna go to slice and click on automatic slice, and as you can see, all these three objects have been created. A new object has been created from all these three sprites. I'm gonna click on apply and simply cut it to move it here. Now we can simply select this tool, and from here as you can see we have all the different body parts of the monster. So I can simply drag this one here, and as you can see here we have the monster. I can drag this one here, we have the eyelid, and I can drag this one here, and as you can see we have this thing as well. So we have all the body parts right here like this. Now I'm gonna put all of these things together inside an empty game object so that we have all those things together organized. To do that, I'm gonna go ahead and click on create empty. I'm gonna name it monster, and inside the monster I will drag and drop all of these things together. Now we have all of these things together inside this monster empty game object. Now the next thing that I'm gonna do is I am going to select this one. Which one is this? I think I need to select this 2D tool first of all so that we can see what we are selecting. So make sure we are selecting the horn, and I'm gonna put it here, and as you can see we have it on the top of our object. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that it is on the bottom side, or it is one level on the bottom. In order to do that, we need to simply change the ordering layer from 0 to -1. Now as you can see we have it on the back, and the same way we need to change the eyelid from 0 to 1. So now we have our monster at 0, the horn at -1, I think, yes, and the eyelid at 1. So now all these things have been positioned in different positions. So now let me go ahead and position these things to the position that we want. So I think I'm going to position the eyelid right about here, something like this, and I'm going to duplicate it one more time and then move it and position it somewhere like this. So now we have two of these eyelids, and if we, as you can see, if I try to simply disable this, as you can see, we have already the eye blink animation. So I think I'm going to create another empty game object inside this monster, and I'll name it eyelids. And inside this eyelids, I will move both of these eyelids so that we have both of these things together here, something like this. Okay, so I think I'm gonna keep it disabled at the beginning so that it looks something like this. Now here we have our horn. I think I'm gonna position it somewhere like this. So okay, so before doing all these things, let me select my main camera and change its size so that the character doesn't look that big. I think I'm gonna make it about 15, let's say. And from here I'm gonna select 1280 by 720. So now it looks pretty good. And I'm gonna change the background color. Let's see how we want. I think I want to make it a dark gray like color or white color. Can we do it sky? Okay, let's keep it something like this, and later on we can change it definitely. So here we have the horn, and let me position it first of all. Now one more thing that I want to talk here about is that we have, as you can see, this pivot point here, and if we go on the corner, as you can see, we have this rotating sign, and if I click on that, as you can see, the horn is rotating around this pivot point. But we don't want that. We want the horn to rotate around this point, its own origin point or its bottom point. To do that, we need to change the pivot point of the sprite, and we cannot do it from here. To do that, we need to go to the sprite sheet, go to sprite editor, and as you can see, we have the pivot set to here. We can simply drag the pivot point and move it to a position like this. And now if I click on apply, now the pivot point will be changed for this sprite. So if you select the sprite, as you can see, the pivot point has been changed to this bottom part right here. Now probably you cannot see this pivot point, you probably see this pivot point at the center, and that's because from this point, from this window or from this position, you have not this pivot selected. So if you click on that, as you can see, we have this center. So probably in your case, this center is selected. So that is why you are seeing it in the center. If you click it one more time, as you can see, now you can see the pivot point on the pivot. Now we can simply rotate it around the pivot point just like this. So let me position it somewhere like this. And then we need to simply duplicate it and create another copy. So I'm gonna press Ctrl D to duplicate it, and then I'm gonna position it here, and from the scale, from the Z scale, I think I'm gonna make it -1. Oh, not the Z scale, sorry. From the X scale, I'm gonna make it -1. And if I do it, as you can see, the object has been flipped. And another way to do that is by clicking simply this flip X button, and as you can see, the object has been flipped like this. So I think I'm going to position it something like this or somewhere like this. Let me rotate it a little bit. I think this should look good. And I'm not sure why I have this bunch of errors, so I'm going to clear this. So now we have both of these horns here, this one and this one. And again, I'm going to click on create empty child. And here I'm going to name it tentacles or whatever you want to say this. And I'm going to move both of my objects inside these tentacles. So now we can simply disable it from here, or we can also change the animations from here. So this is just to keep the things organized inside the monster body. So here we have the whole monster and all the parts are now ready to be animated. So now let's see how we can add some animations to our objects. So I'm going to go to window and click on animation, and every time I cannot find this, I'm not sure why. So here's our animation, and as you can see here, we have the animation window docked here. Now if you want, you can simply dock it to any position you want. I think I'm going to bring it and dock it to this position, somewhere like this, and we have it beside the game window. Now we can select our monster, click on create, and inside the animation folder, I'm going to create monster animation and click on save. So now we have the monster animation right here. Next thing we need to do is we need to create some animations. Okay, so let me see what I'm gonna do first. So I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squash the character a little bit, make it smaller, and that way it will look like the character is alive and not dead. To do that, I'm gonna select this monster body. Let me rename it to body, and from here I'm gonna click on the record button, and as you can see, currently I am at the 0th frame. So I will go to, from here I'm gonna go to the let's say I'm gonna go to 30th frame, and in the 30th frame I think I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller like this and a little bit bigger like this. Oops, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger like this, I think. So let's see how that looks like. And then again I'm gonna go to frame 60, and I'm gonna select the first ones, press Ctrl C to copy, and select the last one, press Ctrl V to paste here. So now let's see how our character is looking like. It's looking pretty good, though I think I'm gonna make the animation a little bit smaller. So I think I'm going to make it a little bit less squeezing, and make sure you are not selecting the wrong object. As you can see here, we are selecting the wrong object. So make sure you have the body selected, and by selecting the body you can change its scale from here. Let's say here we have 1.06. let me make it 1.02 or 3. Okay, and for the Y, let me make it 0.95. Let's see how that looks like. I think this one looks much better than the previous one. So here we have the monster's basic animation selected. So next thing we need to do is we need to rotate the horns, and this is a tricky part, I guess. So let's see how that works. And whenever you have this record button selected, make sure you don't do anything wrong, because anything that you do, it will be recorded. Anything that you change will be recorded. So let me select the record button and go to our 30th frame, and from here let's rotate it to this position. Then go to our last frame and copy our first all positions and simply paste our positions here. So let me play it. As you can see, it looks pretty good, I guess. It's not looking bad. I think it's looking pretty good, and it looks like the monster is alive. So let me simply do the same thing for this one as well. So this time I'm going to select this one, go to 30th frame, and from here I'm going to rotate it like this. Go to our last frame, to the 60, and you can simply write here if you don't want to move from here to here by using your mouse. Select all of your first frames, press Ctrl C, select the last one, press Ctrl V to copy all these things. So now let's see how that looks like. So as you can see, our monster's animation, and let me simply remove the camera gizmo because it looks bad. So as you can see, our monster already looks pretty much alive. It looks like it's moving and it is alive and it is doing something. It's not a dead animal or dead object. So now the last thing that we need to do is we need to create the eyelid animation. And I think the eyelid animation should not be played very frequently. So we need to make sure that it doesn't get played very frequently. So first we are going to do it at 60th frame, and if that looks bad, then I think I'm gonna change it to a higher position. So first of all, let me move to frame 30, and from here I'm gonna enable our eyelids, and as you can see they are in wrong position, a little bit wrong position, because we have squeezed our top eye parts. Let me select this one and position them at the right positions. You can also select this one. Okay, as you can see, the animation is already getting recorded because we have the record button selected. So make sure you do everything right and you do nothing wrong. So let's see if that looks good. So all we need to do is here we simply need to click on activate while recording it, and after 5 seconds, that is if this is 30th frame, let's say in frame number 35, if we go there, we need to simply deactivate it one more time. So at frame 30, the eyelids get activated. At frame 35, they get deactivated. So now let's see how the animation looks like. Okay, so it looks really awesome. As you can see, it looks like the eye is blinking. And as you can see, the animation is something that we don't want to play frequently. But since we have this small number of animations here, I am keeping it here. But when you want to do it, it's better to make it after 60. So blink at 60 and then after again 60 seconds to that, or after 120 seconds to that. So that's a better approach, I guess. So at 60 you blink the eye, and at 120 you simply bring it to the original position or something like that. So that would look better, I guess, a little bit better I think, but I think we can keep it at this point. And let's see if we can change it to another frame at this point. So let me select both of this and let me try to move it to the 60th frame and see how that looks like. So if I play it now, okay, they are looking wrong because at 60th frame the position of the eyes are at different places as well. So let me go ahead and fix that. So let me go to the 60th, or let's say this frame. And now all we need to do is we need to simply select the eyes, make sure they are closed, something like this, and let's see if that looks good. Okay, so that looks really awesome. So now our eye animation plays after around 60th frame, or after around 1 second. So as you can see, our full character animation is ready and it's looking really awesome. So let me go to our game view, click on maximize on play, and click on play to see how that looks like. So as you can see, this is our final animation and it looks really awesome. I really love it. So now all we need to do is we need to simply create some movement scripts which will make the character move left and right, and it will look like our enemy is alive and in the scene, and we are playing a real game and not just simply clicking on data objects. So let me save the project. And if you select our monster, you will see here we have this animator controller added to the monster. And inside this animator controller, we have all the animations and everything that we have done till now selected. So I really like this. So you can go to your main camera and you can change its color to any color that you want, that you think will look good. Let me try changing it to some other colors. I think the sky color looks pretty good. White also looks good. So let me see what I want to give it. I think a whitish color is looks better. So you can simply go ahead and change it to any color you want, and you can simply add some particles or platforms in the background and it will look really awesome. It will look like this enemy is real. So now I can simply duplicate this monster and create a couple of instances of it. So here we have our second monster and duplicate. Here we have another monster and we have an army of the monsters. Okay, so if you want, you can also simply select all these objects, all these sprite renderers, I think. You can simply select the sprite renderers, and I think you can also change the color a little bit. Let's try something different. Let's see if that looks good. So as you can see, we have changed the color and it looks like it's a completely different animal. And if you have the eye in a separate layer, then you can definitely do this and it will look really, really good. So as you can see in maximized view, this looks really awesome. And if you put some things in the background, I'm pretty sure that this will really enhance the look of these animations. So for now, they're looking really awesome. So I hope you really enjoyed this process of creating these cool looking animations with me. So thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope you will take these learnings and build really something cool of yourself. So thank you very, very much for watching. I hope this video has really helped you and you will build something really awesome with this. So thanks for watching. This is Raja from Charger Games. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more cool videos like this. And if you like this video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I'm gonna see you in the next videos. So thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next videos.